Hi, as a medical doctor and USCC instructor, I want to talk about 4 risks that you have when you decide to use a gun for self-defense and home defense. First risk is obvious. It's bodily harm or even death. As soon as you decide to pick up the pistol to protect yourself or your loved ones, you're exposing yourself to physical danger and even death. Second risk is a risk of legally guilty of using a deadly force. You might think you have acted within your rights to protect yourself or your loved ones, but it's not that clear in the eyes of law. They might find you guilty of not avoiding the situation when you could have, and even find you as escalating situation, and you're legally liable. And you have to remember, every bullet that came out of your muzzle has your name on it, and you're responsible for it. And even though you think you acted in immediate danger, but as soon as the criminal is dead or severely injured, the prosecutor will work to prosecute you. And they will break down every situation, every word that you said, and every action to find you guilty or partially responsible, such as how you could have avoided the situation ahead of time and how you actually escalate the situation, or even break down every word that you said to the policeman, such as I was angry, I was confused, I panicked. And if somebody's not carrying a gun and says something like, don't F with me or I'm gonna kill you, it could be just a bluff. But when you're carrying a gun, it could be a real threat and you could be responsible for escalating the situation and be found guilty. Even with a gun that you're carrying, if it has aftermarket modification, in the eyes of law, they might see it as you have modified your weapon to make it easier to kill. So you have to remember, using a firearm to protect yourself or your loved ones, you have a bigger responsibilities in the eye of law. Yes, that means you have to swallow your pride and avoid the situation. The third risk is financial. Let's say in the eyes of law, you're perfectly innocent, but during the process, you'll have to pay for the legal fees. And this can be small as tens of thousands or even high as hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the final fourth risk is you could be emotionally or morally damaged. As a medical student in 4th grade, I was doing my training in ER. That's when I saw my first DOA, that's death on arrival. She was stabbed by her husband more than 12 times from the front to back, and she was soaked in blood, and her eyes are half open, and I was emotionally suffering for more than 3 months. And you have to understand, taking a life is not that easy. If you think it's gonna be something like in the movie where the bad guys die, and you get a pat in the back, and emotionally you feel like a hero, well, think again. Okay, at this point you might think, maybe I shouldn't use a firearm to protect myself. But that's not that simple either. The criminals, they're willing and they want to harm you to get what they want or for physical pleasure. So protecting yourself and your loved one is your right, and you have to. So you have to know this risk and learn how to keep yourself safe from this risk.